Hey guys, what's going on? Roundedtiktak here, and we have another tips and tricks series video coming for you right now. You guys absolutely murdered it on the last one, and thank you so much for the support. We're going to be doing the bomb mission. This is the first mission you get into the game around Plankerton, where you might be scratching your head just a little bit. A bomb mission is interesting because it has a unique mechanic into it where you have to deliver a bomb. Now, is delivering the bomb an issue? It can be. In much later missions, the actual transferring of the bomb from A to B is the difficult part. There is a lot of husks that spawn very close to it, and the bomb takes a lot of damage. So if we're talking about endgame, this does become one of the more difficult missions. But early game, it's not that big of a deal. You don't have to build any defenses around the bomb, around the mission, or anything like that. So very similar to the first mission. We're going to just talk about exactly what the mission is. We're going to show some trappings and exactly how I would build this defense and everything else that I can think of that might help you along the way. Number one, where are the bombs located? 90% of the time, not every time, but most of the time, they are on the edge of the map, either A or B, and then whether whichever one you happen to run across first, you can use basically like trajectory and figure out where the last one is. It's always going to be, not always, again, 90% of the time it's going to be in some sort of diagonal away from the place. So this time we found A, so you're going to go to A and you're going to deploy it. So you just go up to it, you press E, and you get it done. Now, from where we are, I know that I'm almost positive it's going to be around F12 to 14. So that's the way I'm going to head. Let's see if I'm right. I've been playing this game long enough where I should have a general idea. Another trick that you can do to find the bomb quickly is look for the rift. The launcher, which is this bad boy here, so I was right. Let's see how right I was. F13, not bad, not bad. If you find the rift, which is this big glowy ball, which I'm sure originally was meant to do a lot more in the game and just got kind of canceled from it. You can find this big glowy ball. That's the rift. You can see it in the background. I'm just trying not to die because I pulled half the map right here. Just give me 1 second to clear this out. If you find the rift here, you can use this to find out where the launcher is. Again, 90% of the time, the launcher will be close enough to where it can actually shoot the rift, because that's what the whole point of the launcher is. So if you do find A or you do find the rift, you know you'll be close to the bomb. Once you deploy both, you'll get some blue glow and go back to A. Let's do that first. So we're on our way back to A, and we're going to place the blue glow inside, which starts the mission. Well, starts the second part of the mission, which is going to be traveling with the bomb. There is no easy way to do this. There is a glitch, I don't know how to do it, where you can make your tracks go on basically any terrain, but for the most part, the track cannot go through certain types of obstacles and always has to have a slope or a clear path to go through. So we're going to do it the 100% official way. If you open up your inventory, you're going to see you have these tracks. All you have to do is, create maybe a couple more, grab the tracks, and then just start building. Once you play the game for a little while, you're going to have a general idea of which way it's going to force you to go, which way you think you're going to need to go, and it's going to be a much faster process than from when you start. It also really, really helps with if people actually, decide to help you build the tracks. But you can absolutely solo this. It just takes a little bit of work. So we're just clearing this up, and we're going to continue to place these. We're going to take out this car too. I'm going to try to use the exact traps I normally would in this one. So now that we've built the path to the bomb, we can now start moving it. Again, once you go into a higher level mission, this is actually the hardest part. The bomb can get like maybe 10 shot, and you need to be really careful about what actually hits it. Using rocket launchers here is a fantastic idea. The Santa's Little Helper is really good. Santa's little helper is really good. Any other rocket launcher you may have is really, really good here because it does get crowded quite quickly, and you need to be careful of losing this. Now, if you do happen to die here or the bomb gets destroyed, no huge deal. You just have to make another bomb and move it again. Another issue about the bomb missions is that they tend to glitch quite often. You'll build the entire track, and then you'll realize that your bomb basically cannot move, which is very aggravating. But the actual defense phase, when we get there, we will talk about it, is one of my favorite in the game because of a couple of reasons. It has the highest spawn, in my opinion. I don't know if this is scientifically accurate, but in my opinion, it has the highest enemy per second spawn. Does that make sense? Basically, the enemies will spawn at a pretty high rate comparative to like a retrieve the data or something like that. Which allows for, at least in my case, when I'm doing testing and stuff, to really get some cool footage of like an incredible amount of enemies that do spawn. So I really like it. Another thing about this mission, which I'm going to mention probably one more time, is that the spawn does not rotate. Doesn't matter what level mission you're on, doesn't matter if you're in Plankerton, Stonewood, Canny Valley, Twine Peaks, doesn't matter. The spawn of the enemies will never ever rotate. So once you have one good trap tunnel, that's all you have to do. Just one good trap tunnel and you are good to go. Nothing's gonna get through. Now we have a bit of a lull here, so I'm probably just going to skip this a bit. But you can see on the tracks, this is the next spawn where they're going to be coming from, which is an issue because it's right in front of this bomb. So again, rocket launchers are very helpful here, especially if you're like two-manning or something like that. This makes it a lot easier. We got a moonwalking husk here. And then you can block it off like that. That's another tip you might want to check out if they're overwhelming you. Although it says, I think Race tells you not to trap the actual way to go. It's not always possible, and sometimes you need to. So now that we have the bomb moved in, a couple of things you can do is destroy the tracks. You can check out your map and see where the spawn is. Now, we already talked about how it's not going to move. So on this in particular mission, the spawn is a hard west and kind of like a southwest. The defense itself, I mean, you can build any way you want, but a pretty standard build is going to be this. You're going to build a box around the base, just like so. And then you're going to start doing the inverted stairs or the inverted pyramid, whatever you want to call it, and put these all around. You do this so smashers do not charge at your base, simply. And then you can add a floor pusher on the bottom to help you with your defense. On the top, you just put some of this stuff here and then box off this top part. Back in the day, this top part was untargetable. It is targetable now, I think. So I just box it up just in case. We know that they're going to come from these two ways. Now, in my opinion, 90% of the time, and it looks like my buddy Blue Legend did so, is I take down whatever buildings might be in the way, any kind of garbage or stuff. I always do my best to get rid of it because it allows for a real clean kind of trapping. So we have two things available here, and so we're going to set it up in two different trap tunnels. We don't want them to come this way, so we're going to add blockers here, and this is going to be, just like in the other video, a diamond tunnel. We're going to finish that one up in a second. We have a heavy spawn here, but we also have them coming from this way. So what we're going to do in this case is we're not going to go more than 3 tiles out. We're going to put 2 layers of blockers, and we're going to build our other trap tunnel right here. Or I'm sorry, we're going to go 3 out. And then this one, we're going to build a crunch room, I feel like. Let's do a crunch room. We're going to finish up blocking the sides because we don't want them to come through. trapping yourself inside the tunnel like a pleb. There you go. And we're going to do the crunch room. So let's do the crunch room first. You start off with a 4x4 box, and you add these going this way like so. I'm not going to go over these 100%, but I am just going to touch on them. You add it like this, and then this way you do that, and then you start adding your traps. Here we are going to use 130 traps because it's only 2 of us and I don't want to lose. So we're going to add floor spikes here, ceiling zappers here, broadsides here, and then in this one we're going to add coveted wall pushers. Let me just craft 2 of these real fast. And then we want to close up these little sides here again because we don't want them to break. So this should be efficient enough. We got our wall pushers, we stick them here and here, and these are going to be gas traps up here. So that's the crunch room. I'll post a link to the video about this full build somewhere, hopefully now-ish, if I can figure out how to do that. The last little thing you can do, again, because we're just 2-manning, is you can add those right there. Here into this diamond tunnel, as you saw in the last video, open this up, open that up. We're going to put wall pushers here, wall pushers there. We got to seal this off just a little bit, like so. We're going to add our gas traps, 2 ceiling zappers, and then we're going to do some broadsides too. And that is the full diamond trap tunnel. We're just going to close this off for the same exact reasons. We just don't want it to be attacked. Last thing we're going to do is put a floor spike here, and we're going to finish it off with a freeze trap back on this side. We just want to close this off a little bit just so they have a little more walking to do and they cannot cut the corners. And these are your 2 fleshed out trap tunnels. We're going to upgrade them to see exactly how well they hold up. Hopefully it's enough. This spawn right here might be an issue. In fact, I'm almost gonna guarantee it is an issue, so we're actually going to stop and we're going to make another tunnel here. Now the reason it is an issue is because these enemies that are going to spawn here they might walk this way. It's about 3 tiles away. They might walk all the way this way and then cut back, but most likely it's a bit of a stretch. And in the same thing over here, they might walk this way and then loop back, but I doubt they will. So to make sure we are good to go, I'm going to add 1 more tunnel here just to be on the safe side. Again, it's only 2 of us in a level 140 mission. So we're going to open this up and we're going to add another tunnel here. We're just going to make it a straight shot tunnel, no big deal. You saw it in the other video as well. If we do happen to get a smasher wave, we are going to be in trouble. So I am trying to be a little cautious here. But the last thing I'm doing, which I didn't really mention in the other video, was I am adding these floors here to increase the amount of time they are on my base. My base is going to have slowing on it and it's going to have electrified floors, and I want them to be on top of that effect for as long as humanly possible. So we're going to figure out a good spot for our base here. I think we're going to place it probably around here. I want everything to be covered, the traps specifically, and if I can get the base in here as well, might as well do it that way. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up with some floor launchers here. You can put these all around your base if you feel it's necessary. On this particular spawn, we only have them coming from this one direction, so that's all I'm going to set up. The last thing I'm going to do is also drop some defenders to help us out with this mission. We're going to use, let's do an obliterator, and let's do a old Betsy. So we have 2 defenders to help us when they come out of the tunnels. We're going to add our floor launchers, make sure we upgrade everything we can. But yeah, let's do this defense, and that is the full build. That's how your base should look, at least something like that. These are the tunnels, exactly which ones you should use, how to build all of them real quick. I'll post all the links at the end of the video for these trap tunnel guides if you want a more fully fleshed out version. I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna try it right here. A little trick you can do is you can do something like that and add that piece of metal on top. Let me ask my teammate if he's ready. All right, we started it up. Let's take a look at exactly how well we trapped. Gonna try to get a better view up here. All right, so this is something I did not see. Oh, never mind, that's a patrol. All right, so far so good. So far so good. Do we have an issue with this blaster maybe? Possibly. We do have a spawn coming around this backside. I was not expecting this at all. If this happens in your mission, something like this happens, a real quick easy fix is just to go in and do something like this. Just place a couple walls, do this, and then just add some gas traps. The gas traps will do enough damage to where you don't really have to worry about much making it through. And then you're good to go. Everything should be trapped up, ready to rock out. You can literally probably AFK the rest of this mission because it is a bomb mission. The storm is never going to rotate, which allows it to just, the defenders do most of the work. You just hang out, your traps do most of the work. Now, in these videos in particular, please remember that I am doing all the trapping and stuff myself so I can show you guys. I always go in with one person so it doesn't get over-trapped or anybody doesn't make, you know, too much stuff that I can't really explain why it's there. So it does look expensive on my end, but in reality, it's not that bad. This is 4, 8, like 12 traps, another 8 traps, like 20 traps maybe. It's really not that bad. Now, here's where this is going to get interesting. We do have a mini boss, but you can see these trap tunnels working perfectly. We do have a smasher mini boss again, who is trap vulnerable and is deciding not to go into the trap tunnels. So if you can do it fast enough, again, maybe drop some traps because you know he's coming. So you're going to try to want to do as much damage to him as possible on his way here. And as easy as that, that is why certain traps are so good. He is taken care of, donezo. But now since this opened up, we have to take, I might have died here. We have to take care of that little thing. So what you can do is you can come up here, you can place some of these to slow them down while it allows you to fix your hole. But it doesn't matter because when you're playing with good people, by the time you run back up a cliff, they already made it a trap tunnel. So that is fine. Everything else seems to be working perfectly fine. No worries. This is a smasher wave too, and 2 people, level 140, 2 defenders, taking care of it quite easily. This smasher, no big deal here. Donezo. So those are the tips and tricks you should look out for. When you load into the map, always check the edges to see where the bomb is, because 90% of the time, not all the time, but 90% of the time, it's going to be there. Make sure to always look at the spawn and remember that the storm's not going to rotate. So adding a couple of extra traps here and there for your main trap tunnels isn't going to be a huge deal because they're going to be working the entire mission. Make the base look something like this with all these reverse stairs, and if you think the mission's going to be hard, use these floor launchers to push back the enemy. Do use defenders to your absolute best advantage. Stick them right at the exits of the tunnels, especially put high impact weapons on them to stun smashers like this. And yeah, guys, if you have any other questions, feel free to let me know. It is done. Level 140 bomb mission, 2 people, maybe 25 traps. Easy mode. Just know where they're coming from, what to look out for, and that is how you do bomb missions. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Tiktak out.